company as well. Look forward to seeing you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, goodbye GI. The South's origin and kangaroo star calls time on his glittering career. The Premier's negotiating nightmare, a collection of minor parties now holding the cards and plenty of power in the upper house. Two bandits posing as police officers now on the run after terrorising a family business in our northwest. A major twist in the George Pell child abuse case, some of the country's biggest media figures facing serious charges. The hidden medicinal marijuana crop, the first in our state grown in top secret and protected by very high-tech security. And the master returns. Tiger Woods completes one of sport's greatest ever comebacks.
Live from our Sydney headquarters, this is 7 News with Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. A star for club, state and country. Rugby league great and Rabbitohs captain Greg Inglis has announced his immediate retirement. It was a sombre GI today. He said it's simply the right time for him. The league legend now walking away from $1 million contract.
It was an emotional morning as one of the greats of the modern era, Greg Inglis, pulled the pin.
It's me calling it time on my career, and no one else has called it.
His family was front and centre, mum relieved he's finally in a good place.
My heart will be like, I'm not seeing him with a jumper on anymore, but I think it's good for him.
The Rabbitohs skipper says it was simply a case of losing his passion to play.
There's no retirement due to mental illness or injuries or that. I just think it's time, and I think it's the right decision for myself.
His brilliant career spanned 15 years.
What a start to your final!
He debuted with Melbourne, played for Queensland and wore the green and gold 39 times.
We've had a lot of success. Man of the matches, Clive Churchill, Golden Boot, all those sort of things. I just love the way he carried himself. I love the fact that he was humble, he was honest.
It's the hardest part, I think, of a footballer's life, is to get to that point, when your time's up.
The Rabbitohs' 2014 premiership, a career highlight.
43-year drought, and there was a lot of emotion going in that.
He admits there was more waterworks when he told his teammates he was done.
Well, I couldn't look at Damien Cook, he started crying. A little bit of a sook, my little mate.
Inglis's new role means he will become a member of the Rabbitohs coaching staff, but his real work begins here in the community, where he's hoping to use his profile as an Indigenous ambassador to make a real difference.
My journey's only starting now.
Michelle Bishop, 7 News.
From One Nation to animal justice, from the Greens to the shooters, fishers and farmers, they've now all claimed seats in the New South Wales Upper House. Now the Premier has the delicate task of trying to balance those who hold the balance of power, including Mark Latham, but not Liberal Democrat David Leyonhjelm, who missed out.
The final numbers are in and it's the minor parties celebrating.
21, mate. Congratulations.
Former police detective and One Nation candidate Rod Roberts scraping in with the 21st and final spot in the Upper House.
Well, I think it is a ringing endorsement. I mean, there's plenty of other candidates to choose from, yet the voters have voted for two of us and got our party in.
With controversial leader Mark Latham, it's a balance of power position.
And I think that's what the people want, is true independence, true representation.
But it left some lost for words.
That is a surprise.
It's going to be a fractious crossbench. Of the 42 seats, 17 are with the Coalition, 14 Labor and a total of 11 crossbenchers, including the Greens, One Nation, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers and the Animal Justice Party.
People of New South Wales have spoken and animal cruelty is a big issue. It's something we want to see an end to.
Liberal Democrat David Leyonhjelm is out. The former senator's tweet 2 weeks ago seems I'm elected a little premature. Disappointment too for the campaign against Sydney's lockout laws.
So I don't know if you've got any jobs going, then let me know.
This afternoon, the Coalition's new cabinet met for the first time. Before the election, they needed 2 extra upper house votes to get new laws passed. It now needs 5. State politics just got that little bit more difficult.
And Chris Reason joins me now. So how much more difficult will it be, Chris, to get legislation through?
Well, Mark, a lot more horse trading to be done now. If you look at a breakdown of that 11-member crossbench, we've got 6 on the left, 5 on the right. You predict the government would obviously go to them, One Nation, Shooters and Fishers and the Reverend Fred Nile. So we can expect a lot more of their policies and platforms to gain traction, things like a lot more attention on the bush, lower immigration and density policies, and also less politically correct policies in our public schools. Mark.
Turbulent times on Macquarie Street. Chris Reason, thank you. 2 brazen thieves who pretended to be police officers before cleaning out a family business are on the run tonight as real detectives step up their efforts to find them. Security vision has been released of the moment they faked a raid, then robbed an Eastwood money exchange, leaving the owners traumatised.
The pair, one wearing handcuffs, the other a fake ID, makes a beeline for the money exchange, which is hidden from the street above a mixed-use shop. They yell police raid and force the owner's wife to open the safe before racing away.
Oh, she was very scared, yeah. She was freaked out for about at least about 2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
They escaped with a large sum of cash, police appalled by their arrogance and tactics.
To rub salt into the wound, took the wallet of the female and actually took the wallet of the male and then ran from the store.
The robbery left the couple deeply traumatised.
I don't know whether I go ahead with this business or we're going to fold it and stop doing it.
The pair's getaway car was caught on camera but failed to provide police with their identities. Police say one reason they waited more than 3 weeks to release this footage was to make doubly certain this pair were not real police officers. This is a rare though not unique crime. Just last December, 2 men left a shopkeeper bloodied and beaten after walking in announcing they were police and demanding $2,000. These copy cops were caught. Police hoping the new imposters suffer a similar fate.
The New South Wales Police would like to introduce these 2 men to some real police officers.
They're asking anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. Brian Seymour, 7 News.
Both the major parties have benefited from a One Nation slump in the latest opinion poll, with Labor still on track for victory on May the 18th. The leaders campaigned in Melbourne today, the focus shifting to healthcare, as Bill Shorten was confronted by a cancer sufferer questioning his commitments.
The battle to be victorious in Victoria.
Well, that's the sort of welcome I love.
No, well, back on the campaign trail. All right.
Bill Shorten promising $250 million to free up waiting times in public hospitals, though one cancer patient was sceptical.
Mr Shorten, how are we supposed to believe your potential government?
Rob, I'm going to take some time and have a chat to you after the conference.
Rob Gibbs, a 48-year-old former firefighter, says he's been left $20,000 out of pocket for his cancer treatment, money Mr Shorten's now promising to cover.
You're always hearing them promising things, but yeah, as soon as they get elected, a lot of them forget about it.
Scott Morrison, walking on tough ground, his first campaign venture into Melbourne,
Let's have a look, Dave.
hoping to sandbag several key electorates.
This image shows some of the complexities for Scott Morrison. Michael Sukkar here was one of the prime supporters of Peter Dutton's bid for the Prime Ministership, leading to Malcolm Turnbull being rolled, and now Scott Morrison is trying to help him save his marginal Victorian seat.
Mr Morrison not engaging on whether the continuing fallout will hurt his chances.
That is such a bubble question. I'm just going to leave that one in the bubble.
As news poll suggests, Pauline Hanson's bubble might have burst. Labor ahead 52-48 after preferences, but both sides with 39 primaries, benefiting from a collapse in One Nation support.
May 18 is the poll. People will have their say then.
But they're saying now that the recent cash for gun laws sting could see her Queensland Senate seat go to this man. Clive Palmer today finally promising to pay Queensland nickel workers their remaining entitlements, more than $7 million.
This is not about politics. This is an announcement about the industry in this town and people's jobs.
It is always about politics.
And Mark Riley joins me now from Melbourne. Mark, how are things shaping up now in the battleground state of Victoria?
Well, Mark, both sides tell me that things aren't quite as bad here for the Liberal Party as they were during that state election campaign in November, that some of the brand damage caused by the rolling of Malcolm Turnbull has been repaired, although Labor is still expected to pick up several seats here in Victoria. And with just a couple of weeks now until pre-polling begins, that doesn't give Scott Morrison much time at all to turn things around, Mark.
OK, Mark Riley in Melbourne for us. Thank you. Israel Folau has been given 48 hours to accept or fight a breach of contract notice that would see his Rugby Australia deal torn up. But the Wallaby star is standing by his social media post and refusing to take it down.
The end of Israel Folau's Wallabies career.
Israel Folau!
The 30-year-old on the verge of having his rugby contract torn up over this social media post on his Instagram account last week.
The Integrity Unit has recommended termination.
Rugby Australia today admitting Folau is unrepentant.
He was unapologetic for his posts and his position. He expressed no remorse.
Wallabies coach Michael Cheika today declaring he'll never select Folau again.
I think as it stands right now, considering what I've just said, you wouldn't be able to.
A stance backed by his captain.
Are you comfortable taking the field with him again?
As a rugby player, you know, it makes it hard, it makes it difficult.
Folau has until Wednesday to make a decision, either accept his warning and be sacked or fight it and end up in a code of conduct hearing. The issue now drawing in players from other codes who liked the post, AFL stars Gary Ablett and Matthew Kennedy, even Folau's Wallabies teammate Samu Kerevi and Alan Alalatoa. Rugby Australia, though, says they won't be punished. Cameron Price, 7 News.
There was a major rescue operation in Bondi today after a woman fell from a cliff edge near the coastal walk. She tumbled 5 metres, landing on rocks below. Emergency crews treated her before she was winched up to a helicopter. She suffered cuts but escaped more serious injuries. A father of 3 badly burned in a high-speed crash at Blakehurst yesterday remains in a critical condition in Royal North Shore Hospital. But the fact he's alive at all is due to the extraordinary bravery of rescuers who dashed into the flames with little more than a garden hose.
It's hard to believe that no one was killed outright in this explosive impact. Even harder to comprehend is that 45-year-old Charles Williamson remains trapped for 3.5 minutes and survives.
Is there anyone in there? Is there anyone in there?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Man, I can't get him out.
Where is he?
He's in there.
Oh, no!
The car Charles is driving is a Mazda RX-2 Rotary, a high-performance vehicle equipped with a roll cage and a racing harness. Ironically, that harness delayed his rescue.
I couldn't get the harness undone, just couldn't do it.
Bill Naphan is one of Charles's closest mates.
There's no bad bone in him, and how could it happen to him? So it's just unfair.
Much like the brain cancer Charles just defeated, but his mate says he's a fighter.
If it all goes well, he'll just say it was an accident, let's just carry on with life.
While Charles Williamson remains in a critical condition here in hospital, the police investigation into the crash continues. While it is in its early stages, they do believe that excessive speed was a contributing factor. Police have also said if not for brave bystanders, Charles had no chance.
That guy that yelled out, is anyone in the car, and he couldn't believe there's no one helping, you know, that guy deserves a medal.
I think I would have done it for anyone, you know what I mean?
Charles's 17-year-old son is one of those heroes. Peter Fegan, 7 News.
A truck driver has been pulled from his semi-trailer after it rolled, trapping him inside. The truck was travelling along Norfolk Road at Greenacre when it rolled just before 1 this morning. A passerby had to smash the windscreen to get to the driver, who suffered head and leg injuries. He was taken to hospital in a stable condition. An American extradited from California yesterday over the murder of a Sydney man has now been refused bail. The victim, a Thai national known as Mario Phetmang, was beaten to death and left wrapped in plastic by the side of a road last June. Police say his alleged killer fled to the US but left behind a trail of evidence.
back in Australia and behind bars. Alex Dion left Sydney just days after allegedly killing Wakira Mario Fetmang.
Why did you leave Australia?
The US National told police he dropped the Starbucks worker off at this petrol station on May 25, 2018, but evidence suggests a different story. Fetmang's body was found bound and gagged on the side of Homebush Bay Drive almost 2 weeks later.
We believe that the murder took place in the vicinity of Belmore, in a unit at Belmore.
Police say a cloth used to bind Fetmang's wrists matches a T-shirt worn by Dion, who they say used the victim's phone and credit cards both in Australia and the US. Also, DNA evidence connects Dion to the victim's body. It's alleged the plastic Fetmang's body was wrapped in matched sheeting Dion used while doing some tiling work, and the victim's clothing and glasses were found in a water tank at a construction site where Dion used to work. Today, he was refused bail to reappear in June. Fetmang's family was informed of Dion's extradition.
They're still upset. The arrests like this don't bring victims back.
Police are examining if Fetmang was killed over a drug deal worth just a few $100s. Ashley Hanson, 7 News.
There's been a historic moment in court today in Melbourne connected to the child abuse conviction of Cardinal George Pell. Dozens of journalists and presenters went from the press gallery to the dock, accused of breaking legal restrictions over the Pell story. The scope and seriousness of the charges are unprecedented.
It was the story that everyone wanted to know about. And when the Cardinal's first guilty verdict was handed down, it was suppressed within Australia because a second trial was about to start.
You deserve to be locked up forever.
But as news broke overseas,
we have been sitting on this story for the last 2 months.
Some outlets here reported it cryptically as the nation's biggest story that couldn't be told, and that had them slapped with contempt charges for scandalising the court.
This is a case involving prejudicing the administration of justice, and therefore it's said to be a criminal contempt. If someone's convicted and if it's serious enough, then they can go to jail.
Today, media lawyer Matt Collins represented 36 media outlets and journalists, including Nine Entertainment, the Herald and Weekly Times, and 2GB host Ray Hadley. He told the court these are not garden variety contempt charges. This is as serious as it gets in terms of convictions, fines and jail time, and it won't be a quick process.
This case could take years if, in the end, separate hearings are conducted.
None of the journalists who've been charged fronted court today. Instead, some sent their heads of publicity to silently observe, but they will be forced to face a judge as the case progresses. Each journalist could face up to 5 years behind bars. Chanel Vella, 7 News.
Let's get a check on our weather now. Here's Brownie.
Yes, thanks very much, Fergo. Well, it's a fine and cool evening across town, but the odd shower or two is possible tomorrow. Once again, there was only a small variation of maximum temperature across the metro area. 25.4 degrees recorded at Penrith, just a touch cooler in the city centre. And how's this for a stunning afternoon? We're in the Blue Mountains. We're at Scenic World, overlooking the mighty Three Sisters and, of course, Mount Solitaire. We've also got some fair weather cumulus cloud that's gradually sailing through. That said, the latest future radar paints, well, maybe just the odd light shower or two tomorrow. Easter forecast in detail, top of the hour, Fergo.
We'll see you then, David. Thank you. A New Zealand nurse held captive by ISIS for nearly 6 years. Now her identity has been revealed for the first time. Next, we're finally free to tell you the harrowing story of Louisa Ackerby. Julian Assange skateboarding through the living room and insight into the WikiLeaks founder's bizarre embassy exile. Tiger's tale of redemption, the golf star's amazing comeback victory. The brave border collie that risked its life to rescue a pup. And later, the new generation of super clear screens coming to a living room near you.
You could call it the biggest sale store-wide at Bingley since Christmas. With huge deals on TVs, technology, kitchen and laundry. We call it the April celebration. On now at Bingley.
Discover a world of everyday savings and benefits with NRMA Blue. From Caltex to event cinemas, parks and resorts, thousands of restaurants and more, you'll be better off no matter where you go. To join, search NRMA Blue today.
just yummy and full of goodness for kids like us. Wonder White is now super soft. Play on.
Ethical Nutrients specialise in nutrients formulated for maximum biocompatibility, like our new Megazorb Mega Magnesium Night, to help relax the mind and muscles for a better sleep. Ethical Nutrients, nutrients that speak your body's language.
Maltesers, the lighter way to enjoy chocolate.
6 Aussie burger meals, thanks.
That'll be $29.90, please drive through.
Do you have change for 10 million?
You could take away Ozlotto's huge $10 million jackpot. Will your numbers bring you a truckload of cash this Tuesday?
They're bringing the fun.
We're on the there's a bit of Porky Pig there. We're in the mint, we're getting it done.
They're bringing the laughs.
Can we get that couch delivered?
We've thrown that couch in the bin.
You're dead! You're dead!
And they're bringing the innovation.
Next level amazing.
The Chippy Brothers are coming to House Rules after Easter on 7. Welcome back. Firefighters have worked through much of the night to contain a blaze which broke out in a Silverwater factory. The fire began around 3:30 this morning in a pile of rubbish before spreading to a parked truck. Reinforcement crews were called in to fight the flames. The cause is not yet known. The identity of a New Zealand nurse kidnapped by Islamic State terrorists 5.5 years ago has been revealed for the first time in a bid to secure her release. Authorities had feared naming Louisa Akavi would place her in even more danger, but have now lifted a strict media blackout following the fall of ISIS.
For more than 5 years, Louisa Akavi's identity has been a secret, unknown to the world, despite her travelling it for almost 3 decades to help those most in need.
We miss Louisa very much. We love her. We just want her home.
That hasn't been possible since October 2013, when the Red Cross aid worker was abducted while delivering supplies in Syria.
We call on whoever is holding Louisa to release her immediately and unconditionally.
There was a ban on any publicity surrounding her kidnapping over fears she would suffer the same fate as other Islamic State hostages before her. But with IS now defeated, the Red Cross is breaking its silence.
There's no such thing as zero risk as such. But a decision was taken to try and seek further information.
Louisa's been to Afghanistan, Bosnia, Iraq, Somalia and Sri Lanka. She listened on as gunmen stormed her hospital in Chechnya.
They could have easily killed us all.
She has the skills to survive.
We all know these risks when we take these assignments.
And their potential value as hostages. But New Zealand has a no-pay policy. The last contact with Louisa's captors was in December last year. Still, authorities are confident she may still be alive. Her family is too.
We think about her every day and hope she feels that and finds strength in that.
And knows they'll keep searching until she's found. Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
Security video from the Ecuadorian embassy in London has revealed Julian Assange liked to spend his days on a skateboard. The WikiLeaks founder can be seen clumsily rolling around barefoot, wearing shorts and a singlet, as well as clashing with security. Ecuador's president is accusing Assange of using the embassy to spy on other countries. He now faces possible extradition to the United States over a conspiracy charge dating back to 2010. A border collie has become an internet hero after saving a puppy from being hit by a reversing car. The slow-moving youngster was heading straight into the path of the Mazda's wheels when the courageous canine swooped in to pull the young animal clear. The dog saves dog moment happened in Canada. Hopefully there were plenty of treats all around afterwards. Tiger Woods has made a fairy tale comeback worthy of the silver screen. Mel McLaughlin is here, and Mel, after so long, he's won the US Masters again.
It was incredible. I know you and I are both quite tired watching it. It's 14 years after his last triumph at Augusta, but now Tiger Woods is wearing the fabled green jacket for a 5th time. His victory marks redemption for a man whose personal demons almost cost him everything.
On the hallowed grounds of Augusta.
Many doubted we'd ever see it, but here it is. The return to glory.
Tiger roared again. His 15th major title, a triumphant comeback. on the biggest stage in golf. He started the day 2 shots back on the leaderboard. But the tide turned on the 12th. Setbacks for player after player gave Woods a window.
And it's a 3-way tie for the lead.
At last, his 5th green jacket was in reach. He made history and celebrated with his father on this course 22 years ago. Today, a sweet victory shared with his own children.
For them to see what it's like to have their dad win a major championship, I hope that's something they'll never forget.
At his darkest, Woods was less a sportsman, more a spectacle. His life away from golf was in freefall, DUI and divorce. Then came the injuries, 4 back surgeries, pain and doubt.
Prior to this comeback, they only knew that golf caused me a lot of pain.
But he rebuilt from scratch. What a fantastic life comeback for a really great guy. Praise from a president. Rarely in agreement with his predecessor, today was an exception. Barack Obama describing Woods as a testament to excellence, grit and determination. Serena Williams brought to tears as Woods showed the world in 18 holes just why he's a champion. In the United States, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
And back soon with the rest of the day's sport, including the full Australian squad selected for the Cricket World Cup, the unlucky ones and the return of the superstars. Plus, there is absolutely nothing in this Premier League title race with Liverpool returning serve on Man City, and time is running out. Fergo, as a sports fan, we know this is what you love, sport. There's no greater comeback. I think this man had 4 back surgeries and 2 years ago said he was done. It's incredible what he's been through.
It was a long night, but it was well worth it.
Amazing.
Good on you, Mel. Thank you. Dragon star and accused rapist Jack de Belin has gone to court still fighting for his future. Next, de Belin versus league bosses over his playing ban. Could he take the field this weekend? A dangerous driver pleads guilty to a hit and run in our southwest. The top secret, heavily guarded facilities growing medicinal marijuana in our suburbs, and they're closer than you think. And delivering chocolate, smiles and possibly a few stomach aches for some very special children. That's next.
Red carpet for the finals.
Let's do it.
The stars will come out.
It's a VIP night.
So excited.
The energy is electric.
That was absolutely gorgeous.
Who will crumble?
I feel like I'm going to cry.
Can you just crack on, please? There's so much to do.
What are you cracking? Grow up. I'm going to say something that I don't usually say. But there's far too much sauce on that.
And who will be one step closer to their dream?
You are the My Kitchen Rules champions.
My Kitchen Rules, tonight 7:30 on 7.
The Caravan Camping Holiday Super Show. Check out thousands of products, find out what's new, and talk to the experts, all in the one great location. Show starts Tuesday, April 30 till Sunday, May 5. Visit supershow.com.au.
Protein supports muscle development. Nutri-Grain, one of the highest protein cereals.
Your home's a blank canvas, awaiting your creativity. All right. Lucky we didn't have to put holes in the wall. Command picture hanging strips come off cleanly without harming your walls. They securely lock pictures into position. And the great thing is, they're strong. 4 of the large strips hold up to 7 kilos. Create new looks and memories for everyone with Command picture hanging strips. Command, do no harm.
Scenics 2020 Europe River Cruising pre-release must end April 30. Experience Europe's grand waterways. From the castles on the Rhine, the vineyards on the Moselle, and the wonders of historic Europe.
It's your last chance to secure the best price on 2020 departures and enjoy included flights. See your Scenic agent or call 138 128 today.
Today's help? Are we there yet cover? Get free roadside assistance with any new NRMA comprehensive car insurance policy. Call us on 13-NRMA.
You could call it the biggest sale store-wide at Bingley since Christmas. with huge deals on TVs, technology, kitchen and laundry. We call it the April celebration. On now at Bing Lee.
The 15th is a big day for us. It's 20K day when all our first prize winners get their next 20K.
Carol! You won set for life!
Another $20,000, Donna! Every month! I'm gonna cry.
It's been a big day.
Yes, Tahiti!
Doug.
Sounds amazing.
Set for life. It's 20K on replay.
In 2007, Australia had a $20 billion surplus. Then Labor got in. 6 record deficits totalling $240 billion. Over $1 billion a month in interest. And we're still paying. But the Liberals have led a recovery. And the budget is returning to surplus this year. Don't let Bill Shorten in to spend, spend, spend again. Labor, it's the bill Australia can't afford.
Authorised by A. Hurst, Liberal Party of Australia, Canberra.
Welcome back. Harsh, unfair and draconian. That's how the NRL's automatic no-fault stand-down policy was described today as Dragon star Jack de Belin challenged the new rule in the federal court. De Belin was sidelined by the code after being charged with rape, an allegation he denies. If he wins this first legal battle, he could be back playing by the weekend.
Jack de Belin came to court today to tackle the NRL head-on after it banned him from doing his job.
Are you hoping to play soon?
With league bosses set to be key witnesses, he's challenging the game's new no-fault stand-down policy. It's forced him to the sidelines while facing aggravated sex assault charges. He's pleaded not guilty, but his lawyers argue he's still being penalised. It's a harsh rule, it's an unfair rule, it's a draconian rule. A means to remove de Belin from the game, the court was told, retrospectively, 3 months after he was charged, and without the right to put his case. Unprecedented in any sporting code in Australia, maybe in the world. A former St George Illawarra star was an interested onlooker in court. De Belin's teammates too, watching from afar.
If he gets the all clear, we'll definitely have him straight back into it.
The boys really love having him at training, so hopefully we can get him back this week.
De Belin's rape trial may not be heard until next year.
The court heard from Jack de Belin's manager, who says being forced from the game for 18 months will mean a severe financial hit. He says a player always needs to show what he can do, stay in the shopfront window.
His bid to return there will now be decided by the federal court. Chris Marr, 7 News.
A 19-year-old man was arrested outside a home in Bankstown on the weekend. He's facing a series of charges, including possessing stolen goods after a police raid in November netted nearly $200,000 worth of jewellery. They also found a loaded Beretta pistol and another stolen handgun. He'll face court on Wednesday. A driver who failed to stop after hitting an elderly man, leaving him seriously injured by the side of the road, has pleaded guilty to negligent driving. He handed himself into police after seeing a 7 News report on the accident.
Terry Kotsahillis leaves court having just pled guilty to abandoning an elderly man on the side of the road.
How didn't you know that you hit that man that day?
The father of 2 was driving to work along Belmore Road last July when he hit 77-year-old Neville Bertolicio as he was crossing the street. Driving without a licence, Mr Kotsahillis didn't stop.
Why were you driving that day if you were suspended?
The impact so severe, Mr Bertolicio spent the next 6 months in hospital and still has ongoing medical problems. After seeing a report on 7 News, Mr Kotsahillis contacted police and admitted to being the driver, but still to this day can't explain what happened. His lawyer told the court his client didn't think in a million years he had hit someone, adding it was inattention, it wasn't a hit and run, he didn't try to flee or hide the vehicle. But the prosecution disagreed. There is an extremely high degree of negligence in this instance, and it is appropriate to describe it as a hit and run because that is what it is. Ultimately, the magistrate agreed and sentenced Mr Kotsahillis to a 9-month community corrections order, 100 hours community service, and was suspended from driving for 18 months, meaning he will be hitching a ride for a long time to come. Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
Hidden in plain sight at an undisclosed location is a facility that looks more like a military base than a high-tech greenhouse. It's the state's first medicinal marijuana growing and testing centre, built to safely help some of our sickest patients.
In a covert country location, inside what looks like a jail, we can show you a closely guarded secret. Growing in what must be the most secure, state-of-the-art greenhouse, these small narcotic plants hold big healing promise.
People, whether they're cancer sufferers or suffering epilepsy, can actually purchase the plants or purchase the product, and it be the same product and the same properties and the same composition each and every time.
This is medical marijuana. The New South Wales state government is growing pot, the first ever crop of taxpayer-funded cannabis. It's for research at this stage to help understand the best growing techniques, standards and protocols for the sale of the drug for medical treatment.
It's actually quite surprising how little actual hard research has been done on simple issues of how you cultivate it.
Rather than simply hope for good quality for very sick patients, they're researching ways to ensure consistently high quality cannabis.
We've got the eyes of not only Australia but a large part of the world watching what we do here.
Controls over the environment in this greenhouse are very specific. The temperature, humidity, lighting, water and fertiliser levels can all be manipulated and tracked to work out the best conditions, tested on 8 different varieties of cannabis. It's perhaps no surprise that both the local police and detectives from the New South Wales Drug Squad are intimately involved with everything that happens here, leaving nothing to chance, because what they're doing here is also a high-value target for criminals. This trial will go for several years, these plants to be used to produce other plants which will go to flower and be harvested for testing later this year. Evan Batten, 7 News.
There were plenty of smiles and laughter at the Children's Hospital at Westmead today, with Easter coming nice and early. The sick children had a visit from the Cadbury Easter Bunny, who brought plenty of chocolate treats and high fives. Some of the youngsters were a little unsure about meeting the Easter Bunny, but a handful of chocolate eggs soon did the trick. Armed robbery, carjacking and pointing a gun at a police officer. An ice addict's rampage revealed. The terrifying moment he grabbed a woman by the hair and threw her to the ground. That's next. Celebrating those doing it tough, the Royal Easter Show says thank you to our farmers. The lost dog that tried to catch a bus, it's a story with a happy ending.
The mild weather rolls on. Easter forecast soon.
911, what's your emergency?
My son's upstairs. You know which room? Action show on television. New 911. Easter Monday, 9 o'clock on 7.
Alright, I'm ready now, I ain't gonna fall back now. Alright, I'm take it on, baby.
Hey BMW, turn up the bass.
You wanna be my tonight, take it with.
Do the mountain.
I'm doing the mountain.
Not yet. You gotta do more. Much more.
I'm not doing it.
It's too hard. We just make it easy so you can take it easy with Sportsbet.
Australia, you've told us you want more for your money. So now you can upgrade your favourite Domino's pizza to extra large for just $3 more. And get 50% more pizza, 50% more toppings, 50% more to share at Domino's.
Love is an adventure, and when you're ready, there's a ring for you at Michael Hill. Choose from the widest range of designs crafted in fine jewels and precious metals. And we've always got you covered with our Michael Hill Lifetime Diamond Guarantee.
Over 90% of people who sold with Purple Bricks would do it again.
We got a full service agency with all the marketing, all the contact, all the open homes. We saved 10,000.
Purple Bricks, changing real estate.
They told us our health insurance policy is bronze. What does that mean?
Bronze, silver, gold. Call our hotline and we'll make sure you have the right health insurance. For help with health insurance, call 132-SWITCH. Simples.
Check.
Wise move, Jack.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. Enjoy the barbie.
I could have done it myself, but I didn't want to show him up.
Wise move, Dad. Considering a move to a retirement community? Make a wise move today.
Dulux Wash and Wear for a superior washable finish. If it's worth doing, it's worth Dulux.
The new Lynx Ice Chill is here. So whoa, liking machine. Cool down and lower your skin temperature by 6 degrees with the new Lynx Ice Chill body spray. Because you know, you're hotter when you're chill.
Happy Easter from Cadbury.
When you reach for pork roast, who knows where you'll end up? Get some pork on your fork.
Our share market started the week fairly flat, closing up slightly. The big banks all had a decent day, with CommBank making the biggest gains. The miners also finishing up. And one Aussie dollar is buying 71.67 US cents. The Sydney's average petrol price is at its highest for 2 months, $1.52 a litre for unleaded. The cheapest we could find, $1.29.7 in Bass Hill. Terrifying video has been released of the moment a man grabbed a woman by her hair and dragged her from a car at gunpoint. Today, a court heard the offender had been drinking and using ice before he attacked the woman in Melbourne in 2017. During the crime spree, he stole a second car and led police on a high-speed chase. The 34-year-old has now pleaded guilty to 17 charges. It was the very first Thank a Farmer Day at the Royal Easter Show today, with those doing it tough on the land the centre of attention. It's part of a plan to showcase our farmers' hard work and give back to struggling communities.
Grain feed is the only life source here. Hungry bulls and no edible grass in sight. It's how Erica keeps the wheels turning.
Rexy?
Her farm in the family for 6 generations, now resembling a moonscape.
We're still eternally hopeful and we're hoping that it ends soon.
Erica's mum, Cherry, has seen drought before.
I think this is the worst, Serena. I'm telling you, previously 65 was bad, but at least we had somewhere to take the cattle.
Prepping and presenting the pick of her prime Angus herd at the Easter show, an escape.
Just makes things better. It's really good therapy.
The Premier today also pulled on her boots to say thanks to cattle farmers and young rural achievers.
We know a lot of our farming communities are doing it tough, but the fact that even though they're doing it tough, they're still participating in the Royal Easter Show says a lot about how resilient they are, and the least we can do is say thank you back to them.
This year, more than ever, farmers are the show's focus. Kids can get a little taste of what life is like on a farm here at the Little Hands on the Land exhibit, and $1 from every ticket sold at the gate today is going to drought-affected communities. You can also support farmers by having a snag at the Bush Barbie. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
Our cameras have caught the moment a lost cavoodle puppy was reunited with his panicked owner. 13-week-old Watson was found by Jenny Aiken attempting to board a bus in Connells Point early this morning. With no name tag, she was planning to take him to the vet until his owner happened to drive past.
It was a shock to see it come around the corner and to see a camera crew with our dog. I was like, what's going on? I'm going to cement up the fence so he's never getting out again.
It's been a big day for Watson. He'll also be attending his first puppy class tonight. Good luck, Watson. The television of the future is here now. 8K screens, 4 times more powerful than what's on the market, and they're ready to buy now. But there's a catch. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News. But now Mel is back with sport, and Aussie selectors have got in early naming our squad for the Cricket World Cup.
Yes, Fergo, their minds are made up, and it's no surprise to see the 2 biggest names whose bands are over are back. Full details of the squad are coming up next. Plus, has Ben Hunt set up the ultimate battle for the Queensland number 7 jersey with DCE against Manly on Saturday? And it was all about Tiger at the Masters, but just how close did an Aussie star come to making it his day?
Brisbane. Beautiful one Monday, and their footy team...
Absolutely perfect.
But can the Red Hot Lions stay cool against Collingwood?
Very, very dangerous.
A scorching Thursday night rivalry. Then, the annual kick for the kids for the Good Friday appeal. North Melbourne versus Essendon.
What a good Friday for AFL footy it turned out to be.
The Festival of Footy kicks off Thursday on Mate.
The federal election has been announced. All Australian citizens aged 18 years or over must be enrolled to vote now. If you've recently changed your name or address, turned 18, or become an Australian citizen, make sure you're enrolled. Your vote will help shape Australia. Enrol or update your details at aec.gov.au or pick up an enrolment form at any post office and return it to the AEC before 8 p.m. Thursday. Authorised by the Electoral Commission of Canberra.
Tonight, I'll be eating tacos with fresh tomato salsa, black beans and extra guac.
Tonight, I'll be eating ham and pineapple pizza with extra pineapple. Oh, and maybe a garden salad. I won't really eat the salad, but... I just tattooed a taco on your leg. What? You could just wear full-length pants for the rest of your life. What if I put a burrito on your butt cheek?
Find your Easter at Woolworths with hot cross bun varieties, 1 pack $3.50 or 2 packs just $6.
That's why I picked Woolies for Easter.
Happy Easter from Cadbury.
The King Living Autumn Sale ends soon. The iconic Jasper 2 from only $3,990. Luxurious and comfortable. Save up to 50% off award-winning furniture designed for better living. Sale ends soon.
Fibre helps feed the good bacteria in your gut. That's why with Kellogg's range of fibre cereals, millions of Aussies all over the country are helping the good bacteria in their gut to thrive. Is your gut fibre fit?
SafeWork New South Wales can help you start a conversation about safety.
Renee, stop. Step away.
Hey, Terry. Thanks.
Because no matter what you do, safety starts with you.
Created to make a moment last. Designed to excite in an instant. This is our next generation. A drive you need to feel to believe. In hatch and sedan. Next Gen Mazda 3. Driving is believing.
The Sport Report brought to you by Next Gen Mazda 3. Driving is believing.
Welcome back. Ben Hunt has laid down the challenge to Daly Cherry Evans. He says their showdown on Saturday could decide who'll be Queensland's Origin halfback. The Dragons playmaker hit top form against Canterbury and is now plotting Manly's demise.
Two halfbacks earning $16 million between them. Ben Hunt faces off against Daly Cherry Evans.
Massive battle this week. Daly's been playing really well and so is Benny Boy. So I think Kevy Walters will find a spot for both of them.
Hunt was angry, losing his number 7 jersey to DCE in Origin 3 last year.
Well, Kevy might have made up his mind already, to be honest. I don't really know, but this game's probably going to go a long way towards helping one of us, whether it's me or him, but I don't know. But I know we'll both be going out to play our best. The
maligned playmaker doesn't enjoy the spotlight.
We often joke that he doesn't like people, but he's a cool country kid. He's very laid back.
But answered the critics with a commanding performance against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, really pleased for him because he works hard and I know the quality player is, and unfortunately at times he comes in for some unfair criticism.
Here at the Roosters, Luke Keary is in the best form of his career. The Clive Churchill medalist is kicking down Brad Fittler's door for an Origin debut.
You just play your best every week. If stuff like that happens, it's cool.
His game's really developed over the last 12 months, and he's turned into a hell of a player.
Blues captain Boyd Cordner delivered a glowing endorsement of the Roosters 5'8".
Everyone knows he's got the skill, he's got the toughness. He's just taken his game to another level now.
Liam Cox, 7 News.
Ex-teammates and rivals reacted with shock at the sudden retirement of Greg Inglis. As we reported earlier, the legendary GI called it quits today.
I can't believe it. I think it's just like a bit of a stark reminder to everyone that things can change like very, very quickly.
Sad for rugby league, you know, he's such a special talent, and to have to retire at 31 due to injuries and whatever else.
Well, Blake Ferguson was in the wars in the Eels' 19-0 loss to Canberra last night, breaking ribs and his nose and sharing this photo to prove it. As he said, no caption needed. Cricket, and Steve Smith and David Warner are back in the Australian team. They were named in the 15-man World Cup squad today with no hesitation by selectors. Batsman Peter Handscomb and paceman Josh Hazlewood are the unlucky ones to miss out.
Aaron Finch has the job of leading Australia's World Cup defence.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very proud. Obviously not there just yet, but yeah, incredibly proud and honoured.
And ensuring Steve Smith and Dave Warner fit into a harmonious team on an 8-game winning streak.
There'll be enough hard-nosed people around the Australian cricket team to make sure it does happen.
They're both great guys, and I can't see there being any kind of issues.
The 12-month ball tampering bans will provide ammo for English crowds.
There will certainly be a little bit of aggro, there can be no doubt about that. The team itself will probably come in for a little bit of heckling, I would say.
Smith squeezes out Peter Handscomb. Warner may break up the in-form opening pair of Finch and Usman Khawaja.
All of that stuff's up for debate at the moment.
Mitchell Starc has recovered from his pec tear in time, but Josh Hazlewood misses out, underdone after a back stress fracture. He'll join the hopefuls auditioning for the Ashes with Australia A and county cricket. 7 months after being named Test vice-captain, Mitch Marsh lost his contract. James Pattinson has one. England, beware.
Well, we certainly hope so.
Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
Jason Day left Augusta with a hollow feeling of a missed opportunity once again. Day finished 2 shots behind Tiger Woods, the best of the Aussies at 11 under. He quietly climbed the leaderboard while the world watched Tiger, but had to settle for his 3rd top 5 finish. The critical moment came when leader Francesco Molinari's chip clipped a pine cone at 15. He took double bogey. Tiger took the lead and clinched his 15th major title.
I just couldn't be more happy and more excited, and I'm kind of at a loss for words, really.
Jack Nicklaus' record of 18 majors is back under threat. The Premier League title race is heading for a thrilling climax. After Manchester City's 3-1 win over Crystal Palace, the pressure was on Liverpool against Chelsea at Anfield. Mo Salah clinched a 2-0 victory for the Reds.
Oh, wow! Oh! That is beyond special!
It was. Liverpool lead by 2 points with 4 games to play, but City have 1 game in hand. Fergo, so much going on. Huge in the Premier League, huge with Tiger Woods. GI, we've seen the last of him, unfortunately, but farewell to a legend, and Blake Ferguson, special mention for that note.
Yeah, big day in sport. I'd love to see Liverpool get there. Been a long time.
That's rough.
No, I would. First there was HD TV, then 4K TV, now comes 8K television. The latest and greatest when it comes to big screens arrives in stores this week, promising a picture quality to test the very limits of the human eye.
Arriving right in time for the Easter long weekend, forgo the chocolate eggs for the ultimate in eye candy.
Like a window, it's pretty amazing.
In stores this week, the Resolution Revolution, that is 8K TV.
People are knowing that they're in the market and we're starting to sell them.
It's all about pixels, the tiny dots that make up the screen. HD TVs have 2 million, 4K 8 million, 8K an eye-popping 33 million. To fit them in, a new generation of super-sized sets, up to 98 inches, as wide as a bus. As it turns out, Mother was wrong about getting square eyes. Sitting close to the screen is actually now advisable.
You can really put your whole face right in it.
How much for 8K? Well, about 8K for Samsung's smallest screen. $15,000 for its biggest, the price of a small car. Sony and LG have models on the way, as do budget brands TCL and Hisense.
We can expect to see the prices drop.
The big question, what to watch? Well, not much. Netflix, Amazon and movie studios aren't shooting anything in 8K yet. YouTube has the odd clip, but you'll need super fast NBN to stream it.
But what these TVs can do is they can upscale any type of content into great looking 8K pictures, and it's the best I've seen so far.
Helen Wellings, 7 News.
David is back with the latest on our weather. Now, Brainy, it was another superb autumn day.
Oh, indeed, Fergo. Yes, I love days in the mid-20s, and of course I'll have the Easter forecast straight after the break.
Anytime, all the time, we'll take you there. Go to 7news.com.au. Happening now.
My Kitchen Rule's been so rewarding. I've loved doing it with you, Mum.
How good's this? If you cook together as a family, come and join the MKR family. Apply now.
Follow the fun outdoors this Easter with Big W, and you'll find comfy camp chairs for just $6 each. Now at Big W.
What are we going to do for the April school holiday?
Duh, we're going to the Luna Park Sydney Fun Fest.
Yay, it's back!
With free entry and unlimited fun all day, every day of the April school holidays.
And there's a new ride.
Yes, Volare. We can fly through the sky.
Fantastic.
And there's extra holiday rides too.
Don't forget the show bags and tasty treats.
It'll be the best ever.
You know it.
Just for fun.
Tickets for unlimited rides from $15 online.
That's up to 40% off.
Show me the fun.
Luna Park Sydney Fun Fest.
Buy online and save at lunaparksydney.com.
Castello Double Cream Brie. Velvety soft and intensely rich. Experience sensations by Castello.
Bounce into Big W this Easter for tasty 250-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Bunnies. Just $5 each. Save $2.50. Now at Big W.
You want to see the world your way? Look a little deeper and see what others miss. So how do you choose to see the world? On an Avalon River cruise, designed with your view in mind. Expansive, uncrowded, unpretentious, utterly unique. Just like it should be. Visit your travel agent or avalonwaterways.com.au and start exploring the world your way.
This Easter, get 10 times the Woolworths Rewards points when you spend over $150 at once at Woolworths, BWS, Caltex, Big W and Caltex Woolworths. Activate now. Offer ends Sunday.
That's why I pick Woolies for Easter.
Follow the fun to Big W and discover our Flexion 6-person all-in-one tent and gazebo for $199. Save $50 now at Big W.
It's a ticking time bomb. Are you just gonna tell Bella that you shot her dad?
Now, will he confess?
I'm gonna hand myself in.
What?
I need to tell you something important.
Home Away, coming up next on 7.
In breaking news, a power blackout has hit 10 suburbs in Sydney's north, including Beecroft, Pennant Hills and Cherrybrook. Thousands of homes are affected, with Ausgrid saying it's working to restore power. It's hoping it will be back on by 9 p.m. Tonight's 7 News headlines. NRL great Greg Inglis has called time on his glittering career. Minor parties now hold the balance of power in the state's upper house. And Tiger Woods celebrates one of sport's greatest comeback victories. Now with the very latest on Sydney's weather, here's David.
Yes, thanks very much, Fergo. Well, it's cool and clear this evening. A brief shower or two is likely tomorrow. That's the latest forecast. Now, temperatures were close to average in the city today, ranging from, well, there it is, 17.3 up to 14.2 degrees. In fact, 24 degrees, I should say, at around 3:30 this afternoon. Now, the same can be said for the suburbs. As we look at the conditions, you'll notice maximum temperatures around the mid-20s. And yes, it's a much better day than forecast. To Bondi, well, it's cool and clear at the moment and the tide is on the way out. From the satellite, we have some isolated showers that are continuing to, well, clip the north coast, just the odd shower or two about the central coast as well. A veil of high-level cloud has entered the west. But look, having said that, during the forecast period, well, there's virtually no change in the overall pattern. You'll see those showers lingering around the north coast and just the odd one over parts of the central coast as well. That high-level cloud will just simply vaporise, but there is a stronger cold front entering the Great Australian Bight. But look, interstate tomorrow. Warm and sunny weather in Melbourne. Dry northerly wind will push the mercury towards 29 degrees. Brisbane, just a shower or two and around 26 degrees. Townsville, sunny and a forecast top of 30. Perth, a few showers and coolish around 22 degrees. Adelaide, sunny and 32 tomorrow. Statewide, we're expecting mid-30s to build in the outer west of our state. Those showers just lingering around the north and central coast, but most falls less than a millimetre or two. Including our backyard, that's the forecast. Just the odd shower or two coming through. Some lengthy sunny breaks as well. And it will be dry for about 95% of the day. Temperatures much like today. Coastal waters smooth to slight seas. Winds east to southeasterly, getting up to around about 10 knots at times. For the city, a mild top of 24 degrees is on the way for your Tuesday, and we're dropping down to around, well, 15 degrees overnight. Let's move on to that 7-day forecast now. Fine and mild on Wednesday, sunny on Thursday. Good Friday should be a cracker. Clear skies and around the mid-20s and remaining fine across the weekend. Have a look at Easter Sunday, warming up, lots of sunshine and mid to high 20s. So that's the latest weather. Just a teasing drop or two tomorrow. Mel and Fergo.
Easter looking very, very good.
It certainly is, Fergo.
Well organised, Brownie. That is 7 News for this Monday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening. I'm Mark Ferguson from all the team. I hope you have a great night.
7news.com.au. Happening now.